everybody. Welcome to the first edition of the Midweek Sports Report. I'm Danny Udero, sports editor of the Silver City Sun News, and fall sports have begun, and it's all about football and volleyball and cross country right now. Soccer's going on. I mean, we got a lot to talk about. Opening week of football, let's jump right into it. First of all, Silver High Fighting Colts traveled up to Capitol in Santa Fe to take on the Jaguars. After taking a quick 10-0 lead off a 70-yard touchdown pass from Chad Fowler to Jeremiah Burke and a Jeremiah Burke field goal, the Colts defense just kind of had a quick letdown. They ended up trailing 13-10 right before half, come back and get another Burke field goal to tie it at 13-all, and then Capitol was able to strike on a long touchdown pass with about 20 seconds to play. Capitol takes a 20-13 lead into the locker room at halftime. They end up winning this ball game, 27-13. Colts just really got shut out offensively in the second half. Nothing really going on with that. A good mark, head coach, actually assistant coach, Brandon Siqueiros, said that they didn't turn the ball over and didn't have many penalties for the first game, and the offensive line really surprised him with that kind of discipline. And he stated they still have some work to do, and they're going to get right back after it. And of course, head coach Butch Branson is still out, had some medical issues to deal with. He'll be out a few weeks. Now we're going to travel down to rivalry Cobre High Indians. They were on the road, and they were in Morenci, Arizona. And oh boy, did they start off slow. They trailed early, and after a 17-play, 80-yard drive, Morenci just kind of shut them down and actually went up 14-0. Cobre finally got on the scoreboard after Sanchez rolled out from 26 yards out, trying to hit a wide receiver, couldn't find anybody, and he just scampered down the sideline there. Extra point failed, so it was 14-6 at that point. And Cobre just couldn't ever get going. It kind of seemed like they would shoot themselves in the foot. Sanchez had a pair of interceptions to kind of put a damper on that. Morenci turned those interceptions into touchdowns, and Morenci ended up picking up a 33-21 victory. And we're kind of in a mix here. We hadn't seen this in a few years. Silver after the first game 0-1, Cobre after the first game 0-1. I mean, what's going on here? But both teams played some solid teams. Morenci High, very, very solid football team. Look for them to do some great things there in Arizona. And Capitol, again, they had a pretty solid ball club as well. So we're going to take a break here real quick. We're going to show you the ending of Silver High volleyball versus Deming that occurred on Tuesday night. And after you take a look at that, Silver High won 3-1. It was a great, hard-fought match between Silver and Deming on the volleyball court at Silver High School. Again, we're going to take a look at the ending, and then we'll be right back to talk a little bit about that game. It's Danny, and I'm back. Hope you guys enjoyed that clip of your Lady Colts taking out Deming. They had to come from behind in that fourth set to end up taking that match. And again, it happened Tuesday night over in Silver High School. Some shenanigans were going on. Fire alarm went off, sent the teams out. In fact, the whole entire gym had to be cleared. And after it was cleared and it was deemed that there was no fire in the facility, teams were let back in, match resumed, and that kind of turned out to be a blessing for the Silver High Lady Colts as they were able to regroup, come back strong, and end up taking that fourth set to win 3-1 over Deming. They are now 3-2 on the year. In that game against Deming, Texas, Megan Maddie had 15 kills. Asia Morales dished out 28 assists in that matchup. And right along the same lines, Silver High Lady Colt Volleyball, they had a rough time. They were over in a tournament in El Paso, Texas over the weekend, and they ended up placing 6th. In full play, they lost to Franklin, 25-17, 25-11. They then dropped a match to Oñate, 25-10, 25-20. And the final game on full play saw them lose to Goddard, 26-24, 26-24. As you can see there, games were really close, really tight. They just weren't able to pull through. Head coach Tiana Sanchez said, "We played well, but we had some unforced errors and lack of communication got us into trouble at times." The competition was very tough. Silver then faced Cleveland High. They fell 25-16, 25-15, 25-23. They finally got into the win column by beating Artesia 3-2. They won 25-21, 23-25, 15-25, 25-21, and 15-6. They then fell to Las Cruces High School in the 5th place game, 19-25, 13-25, 26-24, 16-25. And as you can see again, really tight scores. So, Silver High's cross country team hosted a meet, first one of the season. Normally it occurs a little later on, but this time it was early on in the year. It's the first meet of the season. Centennial won the event in both boys and girls. They had, in girls action, they had 18 points. Silver was second with 43. In the boys division, Centennial had 17 points for first. Silver was second with 50, and Cobre was third at 70. Skylar Jones of Cobre was the top Grand County finisher in the girls division. She placed third with a time of 20 minutes and 25 seconds. Other finishers included Sam Lodish of silver. She was fourth. Jade Budetis of silver 9th. Cheyenne Aguita silver 13th. Alexis Lopez silver 14th. And Erica Medina silver 15th. Brady Thompson of silver crossed the finish line in 5th place in the boys division. He had a time of 17.46. Other finishers included Isaiah Solis from Cobre. He was 6th. Ethan Lucero silver was 11th. Everett Tester silver 13th. Jose Luis Delgado silver, Cobre 14th. Eddie Miscas silver 15th. Micah Timmons silver 16th. Benito Osuna Cobre 17th. Nick Martinez Cobre 18th. John Gonzalez Cobre 19th. And Antonio Tofoya Cobre 20th. So once again, cross country getting kicked off. It seems like they ran pretty well. If you're aware of the military at all, you know that there's such a thing called Hell Week, and that's in all branches: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. And let me tell you one thing: Silver High boys soccer coach Ed Fitzgerald had his version of Soccer Hell Week for the Silver High Fighting Colts. Of course, Coach Fitzgerald had to come in a little late. He wasn't able to hit all the preseason, get the kids in condition, but he's trying to do that now with his version of Hell Week on the soccer field. He's an ex-Marine, and he's doing that with soccer balls. Fighting Colts dropped the match to Gadsden on the road, 6-1. Gadsden, of course, Class 6A. Coach Fitz said, "Our conditioning is improving. One more Hell Week and we should be good to go." Morgan Weber scored the lone goal for the Colts. He was assisted by Caleb Rigg at the 11-minute 42nd mark of the second half. In junior varsity action, Gadsden won 10-1, but that junior varsity team is loaded with 8th graders from Silver, and Coach Fitz said, "Our 8th graders were blown out by a much bigger JV Gadsden team. These young kids never gave up. They played like champions, and if they ever get a chance to play a team that is as young as them, it would be a different story." James Nichols knocked down a shot from the defensive position for the Colts. So we'll be right back right after this, and we're gonna roll into Western New Mexico University. Hello everybody, and we're back again. Silver City Sun News sports editor Danny Udero. We're here to talk about Western New Mexico University football. The Mustangs will showcase many returning players when they kick off on Saturday. They will open up at home, and they will be playing against Arizona Christian. Time is set for noon over at Alto Mirano Field. The Western New Mexico University did very well last year. They finished in 5th, and their 2014 offensive campaign compiled 34.3 points per game, 288 first downs, 1,983 rushing yards, with 3,623 yards through the air and 50 total touchdowns. That high-powered offense is going to be back in action, and quarterback Mitch Glassman is going to go ahead and lead that. They got Marquise Rogers returning to the backfield, where he was the RMAC Offensive Freshman of the Year after rushing for 1,296 yards on 229 attempts. He also posted 6 touchdowns. Other returners include Cheyenne Tupia, who had 3 touchdowns, and Preston Blinko, who had 1. Glassman threw for 3,543 yards. He was 266 of 494 for 33 touchdowns. He averaged 322.1 yards per game. He was all RMAC honorable mention last year, and his main targets will be Marquise Rogers and Larry Young II. Larry Young II had 27 receptions for 325 yards and 4 touchdowns, and Rogers caught 28 passes for 310 yards and 3 touchdowns. Xavier Yayers will also be out there. He had 26 catches for 315 yards and 3 touchdowns last year. So look for this high-powered offense to get going early Saturday, and give way to that defense. Darius Guillory is going to anchor that defense. He earned a multitude of honors, including Don Hansen, Beyond Sports Network, and All RMAC First Team. He is the top defensive returner for the Mustangs. He compiled 45 tackles, 21 of them solo, and he had a tackle for a loss. He had 5 interceptions, 2 pass breakups, and 7 passes defended. Anthony Avina, Dominic Berry, and Alfonso Wilson all had over 40 tackles in the 2014 campaign. Avina leads in returners in terms of sacks. He tallied 5.5, and he was also named the All RMAC landing on the 2nd team. So once again, the Mustangs will open up at home September 5th against Arizona Christian. Be there, noon, Altamirano Field. Again, Cobre High School will be on the road. They will travel to face Robertson on Saturday. Long road trip in Las Vegas. Your Colts will be back on the road again. They will be in El Paso, Texas, as they will face Bowie. And we need to get out there, support our team. Hope you enjoyed the first edition of the Midweek Sports Report of the 2015 campaign. Once again, I'm Danny Udero, sports editor of the Silver City Sun News. We'll see you next week.